wanted to give a little backstory behind this descent. It's a descent that I project just in one day and in one session. I didn't really think that I was capable of doing the descent. I had scouted it prior. I looked at it on Google Maps. A friend actually had mentioned it to me. He went on like a late night derive and was drunk and hang out with some people, and he saw it and said that I might be interested in it. So he sent me a Google Maps link and a photo. It was a pretty grainy, dark photo. But I went to Seattle University where it's at and gave it a look with a friend and just drove over there and looked the descent. Looked like it wasn't really possible. And then a few weeks later, a few months, I don't know how many months, it was in the summertime, and I was there with a few friends, and it was a holiday, so there wasn't anybody on campus. And I just, after doing a full day of camp, it was like a Friday, it was at a Friday jump session, I projected the descent on the first level and thought it was possible. And then after projecting the first level, went to the second. Did the second, felt comfortable, and then went from the second to the third, and so on and so forth. I did have a little anxiety or fear when it came to the fourth level. I got to the fourth level, hung in the cat on the blue rail, and tried to go down, but it just really freaked me out, and I got really jittery, so I had to do it from the third story again.
Ready?
Yep.
Get it.
The main challenge behind this descent is that when you drop in precision onto the rails, you have to make sure that you get your feet precisely on the rails. And there is a small gap between the brick wall and the blue rails. So you have to really get your foot placement right, or else your foot will go in and then you tumble backwards. The cat hang is the other portion of this descent that makes it so challenging, is you have to get your hands around this giant blue rail. The rail itself basically goes from like your fingertip all the way to your elbow. So it's really hard to get a decent grip on the blue rail. And when you're sliding down, if you don't grip and control the descent down into the cat hang, you can slip off really quickly and fall backwards. This means that this descent is very different than, say, a flat wall descent or a descent with a railing on top of a wall, or even just a railing descent. Each descent has its own set of characteristics that you have to learn and you have to drill before you actually do it. So if you haven't done a single hand drop pre from a sort of like railing descent, or if you haven't done the cat drop crane technique, then you have to drill those things in before you actually feel comfortable doing the descent at height. But yeah, I worked on that descent for, I think it was like 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes at the very end of a jumping session. I was pretty exhausted. I didn't think it was even possible. And I had like very little sleep the night before. So I was pretty taxed mentally and physically and psychologically. So I just didn't even think it was possible. But just through like sheer will and being with a good group of friends who were pretty motivating at that time, I was able to overcome the challenge of doing the descent. I still want to go back, and I want to try and do it from the top story, so do it from the roof and then drop pre. There's really no testing it. Maybe on the side, if I was to go up and check it out, like on the opposing side of the building, it's maybe possible. But I want to go back and just try and go from the fourth story and even just redo the descent. So I think it's a project that I'm going to look into in the next couple months, and hopefully I can do it from the top. I'm working on another video or another descent video, more technical descents and just like traditional cat drop descents, kind of some of the more like window silly things that I've been doing more recently. But yeah, I wanted to kind of like share the process with the video and just some of my own insights on how I broke that descent and share it with people. I hope you liked the video. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to comment below. But thanks.